Good morning, everyone. Um, my name is Sireesha. Actually, I'm the founder of the People Tree, stringing one together.
Sorry to interrupt you, Miss Sireesha. Can you mute one of your devices, please? Both are on. Sorry.
Oh. Is that okay, Pravina?
No, one is just mute one. Either you mute your mobile or no. Yeah, mute your mobile. That's better because you are presenting through your laptop, right?
Yes.
Yes. Mute your mobile, please. Thank you. Yes.
Is that fine now?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Pravina. Actually, I would like to thank Pravina for the opportunity and the school reformers. And today we are going to talk about connect before correcting. This topic is actually very, very near to my heart. Basically, I feel so proud to say that I'm a teacher and I was dealing with all the teenage kids, 9th and 10th standard children. So when I was dealing with them, what I could see profoundly is there was they were missing a connect with the teachers and also with the parents. So this made me to think deeper and change my profession. And later on, I have done my psychology and also PG diploma in family and marriage counseling. And I started my own organization, the People Tree. Before this, I have also worked with Learning Curve, the Life Skills Foundation, where I was working as the head teacher development program. So, before starting, I would like to start remembering two legends, the legend teachers, I can say, as this is the week of Teachers' Day celebrations, which we are going to do on 5th September. I would like to remember the legend Sri Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, who wanted to celebrate his birthday as the Teachers' Day, and also Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He always prefers to remember himself as a teacher, right? So, connection before correction. The word connection itself says that it is something which is very, very profound, right? The love which comes through the teachers. So, before starting this, I would like to start with a small story. Once upon a time, there was a person who was walking on a road. Suddenly, he fell into a hole without noticing it. So, he was shouting for help. On the way, there was a doctor who was passing by the way. He just saw the person who was shouting from the hole. He just stopped. He wrote a prescription and he said, once you come out, please use these medicines. Saying so, he has thrown the prescription and moved on. After some time, a priest came on the same way. He saw the person and he chanted some mantras. And again, he wrote few mantras and he threw the paper into the hole and he moved on. Then comes a man who saw the person and just immediately jumped into the hole. The person in the hole, he got angry. Why did you jump into the hole? You could have helped me staying out. Then the person said, earlier, I also fell into this hole some time ago, and I know how to take you out of this hole. Hold my hand, let us walk together and move out of this. I would like to say that a teacher should be a person who can help a child taking through them. Then, why do we need to connect? We all are so ready to correct, right? But why do we need to connect? We can see whichever age child is there, they need some connection. We can see, right? Uh, the pre-primary children, when they join the school, they keep crying throughout the day. But slowly, they stop crying. Why are they crying? Because all these days they were tuned to the family system and they were used to certain type of living. Now suddenly they started coming to the school and totally new environment. So once they get connected to the teacher, then they start getting used to the school. I still remember one of the teacher of my younger son that's around 20 years ago who got so connected to the children that the girls I have seen them who were crying to go back home. That was the power of connection, right? So today let us talk about how to build the positive relationships. So why do we need to build a relationship and what this relation looks like in the classroom scenario and how we can cultivate that. So we are going to discuss about these three things. Let me start why we need that. So the students who feel connected will be regular to school. We can see lot of children getting absent just like that. If they get connected to the teacher, connected to the school environment, they will be very regular to the school. And we all know that once the children are regular to the school, there the learning happens. And also they will excel in the studies as much as they are connected to the school, connected to the teacher, and coming regularly. They feel like, okay, something is happening here, which is so excited, and this leads to get them into learning process. And also, we can see there will be very less behavioral issues. We can see even now when we are asked about our favorite subject, immediately, a smile comes on our face, isn't it? We remember our teacher who was teaching that favorite subject. So, lot of behavioral issues will be corrected once the students get connected to the teacher, and less emotional problems. And when I'm talking about the connect, not only about the toddlers or the preschoolers, and it is for the teens also, right? When they're connected, they will get corrected by the teachers sometimes, or they will be reminded by the teachers, and they will be into a proper way of living. Like they don't get into harmful habits, they don't involve much in bullying or some other harmful things. But how this looks, these positive teacher relationships, yeah, we all know that teachers should be positive and they need to build the relationships. But how can we understand that? How it will be in the classroom? Let us have a look into that. There will be a safe learning environment always. When the children are connected to the teacher, they know that they will be free to talk about anything, they can ask about anything, and they will have the confidence that, okay, someone is there who is supporting us. And also, they'll get the sense of belonging. Once there is a sense of belonging in the classroom, the children they start taking responsibility of their own learning. And also, there will be a supportive community. When a child is facing a trouble or when someone in the class is having some issues, the entire class will be together to help the child. And also, there will be an open communication. Children feel safe to talk about their doubts or if they have any issues, how we can discuss with the teacher. And also, there will be a trust, right? When there is a trust and mutual respect, we all feel safe. So the same thing happens to the classroom where the teacher is having a positive relationship with the children, right? Okay. So how can we connect? At the same time, what the teacher can do to make this positive relationship. So whenever there is a positive relationship in the classroom, we can understand there is equity. We all know, right? Inclusion is needed in the classroom. All the children, each and every child is unique in their own way. the way they behave in the classroom, their learning styles, or the process of learning, everything is unique. So, one kind of teaching will not be sufficient, or we can't behave in the same way with each and every child in our classrooms. So, what the teacher will do in a classroom where there is a positive relationship or where there is a safe learning environment is the teacher will take care of each and every child's needs. So, that's what looks like equity in the classrooms. And also, there will be an active listening. The teacher will be there for the child. The teacher is there to listen. And the children are also, because already they have the mutual respect and they keep sharing the things with the teacher actively. Right? This is how the classroom looks when there is a positive relationship. But how to cultivate these positive relationships? Right? Now we understood, right, very much it is needed and how the classroom looks. But is it so easy to cultivate the positive relationships? We all know that any relationship or any positive thing won't happen just in a minute or in a day. We need to work on that. We need to work in a way which helps the children to trust us and to create the safe environment. So, how a teacher can develop that? How can we develop that bonding with the child? So, I believe that these are the major things which a teacher should understand. Connect with the child and make the child understand that you care for the child. And also share your stories and the conversations which happen with the child. These are very, very important. So let us look into each one of that in detail. So, how to connect? Connect before correct. We all the human beings, we believe in connecting with each other, right? If someone corrects us without connecting, we are not ready to accept it. So, the same thing happens even with the child. So, the first and foremost thing is know your students very well and know each and every child name, because each one of us feels so privileged when someone calls us by name. We all love it. So, first thing is first try to learn or know all the names of your children and know your students very well. I remember when I was working in a school, we were having the very first day of every year, the first 2 hours only to know the child. So we used to have a conversation, a healthy conversation with the child. We all used to learn from each other, or we used to share like each and every child what is the hobby of the child, or what the child likes to do, or what which even it to the extent which color the child likes, or what type of food the child likes. All these things make the children believe that the teacher is for us. She is with us, right? So you can have like we can have some 10 kind of things we can give the children and collect from the child and just record it, which will be very helpful for each one of us when you are in the classroom. And also there will be a relaxed environment in the classroom. So how can we create like that relaxed environment? When the teacher enters the classroom with a smile, that itself makes the child relax, right? And also we can have some humor. And there are teachers who just keep moving in the classroom. You know what happens? If that is a class of the young children, the children feel so connected and they start sharing, Mom, I wrote this, Sir, I didn't write this kind of thing. And even with the teens, when you keep moving in the classroom, it makes the child that you are with them. And anything, any doubt they have, or anything they want to talk about, or they want to share, or they want to raise a question, it will be easy for them to talk to you, right? So instead of standing at your place, when you start moving in the classroom, it helps a lot to connect with the child. And this helps a lot. If we arrive at the class a little bit early, You might have seen, like, if you give a smile, if you give a high five, especially with the preschoolers and pre-primary children, if you give a high five with them or give a smile or talk to them, just say hi, welcome each and every child to the class. It makes the child feel very connected. And if you stay a little bit, 1 or 2 minutes after the class, if you stay back, that also helps you to get connect with the child in a very better way. Another thing is, most of the times we will be so busy with our schedules and we don't have the time to talk to the child. So if we make the child understand that I'm available, if you have any doubts or if you like to talk to me about anything, I'm there for you, right? So you can meet me, you can just give some time, we can do just give some time after the school hours or after the class, or whenever you are free, just I'm free, you can come and reach out to me at that time. It makes the child feel more connected. And check your biases. There is a huge change in the learning process of the older days and present system. So never ever have the thought that, okay, I learned this way and I want to teach you the same. So this may not work. Or we'll be having a few biases like this works this way only. It may not work with the child. So better ask the child, is it okay if I go this way? Or the learning happening? Or do you have any doubt? Don't stick to your way of teaching or your way of learning. You can explore different ways of teaching and learning processes. And most important thing is children are after their children, right? Sometimes they may behave in a different way or they may not behave in a way which you are expecting in the classroom. So never hold a negative feeling or don't label any child for the particular behavior. The children too have a life beyond the classrooms, right? So they may have their own emotions or they may come to the school like we don't know what is happening to the child on that particular time or particular day. So just keep open yourself for the things and never ever hold a negative feeling towards any child and never try to label a child for their behaviors. So these things help us to connect with the children in a better way. Now the care. Yeah. When we come to the profession of teaching itself, right? We all love the kids and we all want to create a better world for the children. I'm sure of that. But are we conveying the same thing to the child? Does the child understand that we care for them? So, how can we show the child that we care for them and for their learning process? So, the most important thing here is the non-verbal messages. So, entering the class with a smile or patting the child on the back once in a while, giving a shake hand, giving a high five, just make the child feel that the teacher cares for me. A gentle touch always helps the child to understand that we care for them. And going beyond the expectations. So the children might be having a kind of thing for the teachers, right? These are the teachers, they will be like that. So once we go beyond the expectations, maybe we can share a small greeting card or a small gift or some small appreciation card. Sometimes just, calling the parent and appreciating the child. These all things, when we go beyond the expectations, the child definitely gets connected with us and have a lot of bonding with us, right? And the effective feedback. As a teacher, yes, we have to give the feedback, right? Not always the child will be doing or meeting the expectations of the learning process. So, how can we give the feedback? So, the first thing is, suppose if we want to give, actually, feedback doesn't mean that it's always negative, right? But usually, it's a thing like we expect feedback means it may be negative. But whenever we have to give some correction to the child. So we are correcting something or we have to give something which is not very positive feedback. Then let us cover it. Either we can use the sandwich method by saying something positive and then the correction which need to be done and then again something positive which makes the child feel better. Or for every non-positive correction, we can give 3 positive feedbacks, which makes the child follow the things which we are trying to correct. So that's the reason. The connection is very important. Before correcting, if you are connected to the child in a positive way, the child taking it in a positive is having more chances. And hold on to the details. Yes, the child tries to tell us many things. If you observe, especially in the primary section, the child wants to share many things, the things which happen on the way when they are coming to the school, or they want to share a story which something their father newly bought for them, or the mother scolded them in some time, or they visited their grandparents. There is a story or something, right? Most of the times we feel like why the child is sharing so many things, so many details. So this gives us that the child is welcoming us or the child wants us to be in his or her own world. So remembering those things, recording those details help us to connect with the child in a very better way. Yes. The teacher is not a friend, right? We can't appreciate each and everything. Just we can't say that this is right. We have to correct the inappropriate behavior of the child. So, how can we do that without hurting the child? We can use the words, right? I didn't expect you to behave this way. And this, I was so surprised when you are behaving this way. So, when we use such type of language and the tone which we are using makes a huge difference to the child. So, inappropriate behavior we are redirecting, but again, we have to make them understand what is appropriate also. By correcting the inappropriate behavior itself is not sufficient. We have to again make the child understand what is appropriate again. So, we are making the child understand what is inappropriate and also the appropriate behavior. We are saying something to the child and we are not following it. Then what happens? Will the child trust us again? No. So, whatever we are trying to make the children understand, we need to model it, especially as the teacher, because the child will be observing us a lot. What we say may not be that impactful, but what the child observe from us is more important. So, as a teacher, this also we need to be very careful. When we are telling the child not to bully others, or when we are making the child understand to correct their behavior and connect with other kids, and how we are behaving with our colleagues. So the child observes that also. So whatever we do and we need to, whatever we say, we need to model it in a very conscious way. And again comes sharing. So when we are correcting the inappropriate behavior or making them understand how they need to behave in a proper way, we too have many stories to share, right? Instead of sharing something else, if we share our own stories, yes, I was also doing once upon a time the same mistake. Now I learned, or somebody taught me, my teacher taught me, my parents taught me, and now I'm in. I could correct myself. So sharing our own stories is very important. But at the same time, our stories need to be authentic. Unless it is not authentic, the child understands that and they may not get connected in a better way with us. Next comes the conversations. So, here, why the conversations are so important? Because these are the things which, see, we are talking about connecting and also we are talking about caring and sharing. But all these things happen through more of conversations. So, these conversations, yeah, we can talk in a group, we can talk to the whole class. But at the same time, as we discussed earlier, each child is unique, so they need some individual time. right? And also, we need to communicate in very honest and authentic way. I remember a child. These things help a lot, not only with the pre-primary or the primary children. I remember I was connecting. I was talking to a child who was in his teens, in his 11th standard. So simple thing. I just asked, "Are you okay?" He said, "Why are you feeling that way? That I'm not okay." No, I just when I observed you in my class, something is bothering you. I thought so. If it is okay, you can share with me. The child right away refused. No, ma'am, I'm absolutely fine. I don't want to share anything. I don't have anything to share with you. So I said, that's okay. But I'm there. If you want to talk to me about anything which is bothering you, you're welcome. Anytime if you feel like. Saying so, I just left. The next day, the same child came to me. Ma'am, do you think really something is bothering me? I said, I just felt that way, the way you are in my class, but it's okay if nothing is bothering you. No, ma'am, something is there which I need to share. Then the child sat with me for an hour, right? So, if we are honest and in authentic way, and also the child should trust us that it will be confidential. So, most of the times, what happens is unknowingly, we keep sharing the things in our staff room or with the colleagues or sometimes in the classroom itself, which is not a good way to connect with a child because we need to respect the child's privacy also, and confidentiality is very much needed. And listen actively. What does this mean? Listening actively doesn't mean that simple listening. It's a kind of many things we need to do at once, at one time. We need to listen to the child. At the same time, we need to look for the feeling what the child is going through, and also the body language. And we shouldn't, the most important thing is we shouldn't jump into fixing the issue the child is going through. Most of the times we have an urge, right, to say like the child is going through so much, we need to help the child. With that intent, we try to fix the problem. So instead of fixing that, we need to hold ourselves and just make the child express what he wants to share with us. That is what very important. So what we can do while listening, let us validate the child's feelings by just being attentive. We can have the eye contact, and also we can just ask simple questions. Okay, is that so? Am I understanding it in a proper way? We can paraphrase the things, and we can summarize the things, and we can ask small questions. Is it so? Right? Active listening makes the child feel validated, and we need to be empathetic. That's the most important thing. Being authentic and being empathetic. These are the most important things which are very much needed to connect with the child.
Miss
And
Sireesha, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am.
yeah, yeah,
If we can
yeah.
conclude the
Yes,
session.
yes. I'm
Yes,
going
thank
to
you.
come. I'm going to. So thank the child for their honesty and sharing with that. Right. So I want to conclude with quoting Rita Pearson, who is the famous educator where every child deserves it, someone who support them. So let us connect before correcting. It helps a lot. Thank you, ma'am. I'm done.
Thank you, Miss Sirisha. If you can stop sharing your screen. Yes, thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
So we have here Miss Aarti Sharma, Dr. Hema Thakur, and Miss Nisha Mishra. Audience, do you have any questions for Miss Sirisha? I can unmute you.
Thank you, Aarti, Hema, Anisha for joining.
Any questions, ma'am?
Oh, it's
Dr. Hema
pleasure,
Thakur.
Miss Sirisha. You invited us actually. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you,
And,
Hema.
yeah, pleasure actually. And I always like Miss Sirisha's voice basically. That
Thank you.
itself is so soothing.
Yes,
Thank
it
you
is
so
indeed
much.
soothing. Yes, it's very
Yeah,
soothing. Yes.
actually, yes. And I think after she speaks, nobody can stop their feelings to express themselves.
Thank you so much, Hema, for your kind words. It made my day.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. It was really good actually, and very small points, but very connecting one actually, related one. So that was really good, Miss Sirisha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Aarti, you want to ask her anything?
Yeah, hi Sireesha, and
Hi, Aarti.
again, great things. Thank you for inviting, and it's really pleasure to be part here. And I am completely agree with Dr. Hema that your voice is really soothing, and it gives you your mind and yourself kind of peace. I think connectivity, like we were sharing.
Thank you. And Aarti, you have any questions because you are an educator and you are running a school, right? So do
Yeah,
you
so
like to?
there are many questions in my mind. What the challenges that we face these days is like the kids are a single child, so they tend to have such kind of like you can say behaviors to fight with others, not to share anything with other kids, and even the parents, they tend to make their child not shy, but they want that if anyone does anything wrong with them, they should respond. So hitting a child, another child, they don't feel it's bad. So whenever we complain them that the child is hitting the other child for sharing or for anything, so they don't take it very seriously. So what do you think as a teacher or as a management? What can we do in that case?
Actually, these are few of the things are post-COVID problems, right? The children who are in lower classes, they lost the human touch in the especially growing years where they need the support and all. So, as a teacher, what we can do is we can start with some small things where we can small gestures, sharing each other in the classroom. We can ask everybody to bring something for others, like one day we can, in a week, we can make a specific day, sharing day, or you can name it monthly once or weekly once. And you can ask them, bring something for others. So anybody, they can choose anybody, or you can only make everybody share with each other. And appreciating. And small thing, even a child is sharing a small pencil or eraser or something, praising them or appreciating them in front of everybody, it motivates because they're young kids, so it motivates them. Like in the assembly, if you announce that particular child has shown the sharing, or the particular child was kind enough, that kind of things motivates the children. And one more thing is, weekly once we can have a session of storytelling which is based on these kind of things, which helps the children. And not just simple story. After the story, using the questions to reflect. If you are in that place, how you could have behaved, or if someone else is doing this to you, how you will respond. These things make the children think about those values. Hope it helps you.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Aarti, for the question. I'll mute you. So, ma'am, Miss Sireesha, I have received a couple of questions from the other speakers. Most of the points are already covered by you, but still, like, I'll ask those questions to you. So, can you share an unconventional or surprising way you have approached as a teacher to build rapport with your students, which went beyond traditional methods?
Actually, I would like to share a story which happened when I was teaching a 9th standard child. I was teaching mathematics. So there was a child in my class who was very mischievous. That girl was very mischievous. You can imagine the child was so happy and jumping, and she used to do a lot of mimicry in my class of myself. Right? She's such a jumping girl and always. So no, none of the teachers expected that she has some trauma or some kind of depression kind of thing. We never expected. So this girl was so good, and she was always keeping the brave face. Once I have seen that every child of my classroom was playing in the playground for the PT period. So this child, she was staying back in the class, and she was just simply keeping her face her head on the bench, and she was lying like that. I just went inside and asked, what's the thing? I was so surprised to see the child is full of tears. Really, I was shocked to say, because the child is always bubbling with the energy. What happened? Why are you like this? The child, she just simply said, I want to die. No one in this world loves me. So I was surprised. I sat with her for 2 minutes and I asked what happened. Then she was saying, my mom hates me. But I just sat. I said, do you like to share anything about? She said, yes, tomorrow is my birthday, and my mom totally forgot. And my mom loves only my sister. Then I sat with her. I was trying to talk to her. It came out that her sister is actually mentally challenged. So the mother spends a lot of time with the child. And she believes that her mother never loves me or likes. Then I said, you go back and talk to your mom about your feelings. She said, my mom kills me and throws me out of my house. Said, okay, it's okay. And I wrote my phone number. I said, see, if your mom throws you out or kills you or beats you, just call me. I'll be there and I'll take you to my house. This is only to make the child believe me. And I was not very quick to jump into fixing the thing, but I sat with the child for more than an hour. And after that, this was the conclusion I gave to the child. And later on, the next day, I didn't get any phone call. But though I was worried toward the night what happened, I didn't get any phone call. And next morning, I didn't see the child anywhere near to my classroom. And after half an hour, the child comes with lot of chocolates and all, with a beautiful dress and beautiful smile on her face, and she was distributing the sweets to everybody. I didn't want to spoil the child's birthday. Later on, the child comes to me and during the lunch and shares that, Mom, I spoke to my mom. My mom cried a lot, saying, so why did you think that way? And you're the one who is supporting me so much. And because of my work with your younger sister, I couldn't spend much time with you. That's true, but it doesn't mean that I don't love you. Saying so, she showed the dress which she bought for her birthday, and the child was very happy. So this made me to think a lot why the kids are not getting connected with the parents too. Actually, it's one of the incident which pushed me to come towards the student counseling. So
Excellent, ma'am.
thank you,
Lovely.
Pravina, for asking.
Yeah, lovely outcome. So, ma'am, so have you observed any specific strategies that are particularly effective in connecting with students from diverse cultural or socioeconomic backgrounds?
Yeah, actually, first thing is understanding their culture is very important, because we in the classroom we have very diverse kind of background children will be there, right? Uh, we need to be very careful while commenting about something or using a statement, because sometimes unknowingly we'll talk about, especially it comes to the religious backgrounds or the cultural things. We need to be very careful what we are speaking in the classroom and how we are responding to the things. That's very, very important. That's what I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the technology era, right, ma'am? And even the tiny tots, like they have access to the technology, be it a mobile or laptop or, their playing tools, electronic tools, everything. So
Yes.
how can technology be leveraged to enhance student-teacher relationships? And what are some innovative ways you have seen tech improve bonding?
Uh, by what I can say, giving them suggestions about how we can use it. Like, for example, most of the times, I this Netflix and these things children are watching a lot, right? So what they can watch, like suppose we can suggest something, a series or a movie, and we can reconnect what was your observation and how did you do that. And another thing is modeling is very important. Why I believe that? Because when we are telling something to the child, we should follow that, right? And not technology is bad all the time, right? For the projects they can use that, and even Facebook we can use for that, but how they're using, especially what I have seen with the children, is most of the things they want to have entertainment. I'm talking about the most percentage of children. They watch movies a lot on the digital platforms, right? So what they are watching, and we can direct them to watch. Like for example, recently we got this Srikant, right? Most of the children watched it like they had only one thing, right? Even though the hero is a blind person, he could do something. So this is the only thing which they got after watching the movie. So as a teacher, when we have a discussion about that, then we can guide the child to think in many directions, right? Maybe we can take the self confidence, and another thing is that was the least thing. Being a blind person, this is the word, the least thing Srikant always want to avoid, right? So thinking that like how to deal with uh, a person who is challenged either physically or mentally, how the inclusion can happen, we can discuss these things about them. And sometimes they will watch something for fun also, from that also how we can draw few things. This is how we can deal. And when it comes to Insta, they got so used to watch the reels, right? Within 1 minute we can swipe the things and all. So yeah, there is something which I believe that because of that, the attention span is getting distracted. But at the same time, I can use it as in 1 minute, how much information we can give to others. So this way also we can make the child lead. So
That's a
these are the
positive.
few
Yeah.
ways.
Nice,
Hope,
ma'am.
yeah, hope
So,
it helps.
right. So, last question, because of the time constraint, I have to end the session with this question, ma'am. What are some common misconceptions about teacher-student bonding, and how can educators address these misconceptions effectively?
Thank you for this question, Pravina. Actually, I wanted to cover it during the session because of the time I couldn't. The
Mhm.
first thing is teachers feel that if we are talking nicely with the child may take advantage of that. There is a difference between being friendly or connecting to the child and giving the lenience. Connecting to the child doesn't mean that whatever the child does, we need to accept. We need to correct the child. Only the thing is how we are correcting. That makes a difference. What are the words we are using and how we are trying to connect, that makes a huge difference. Most of the teachers have that convention that we need to be strict, we need to give a smile to the child, or we need to what I can say is they have a misconception. If we try to connect with the child, it takes lot of time which we may not be able to finish our syllabus, or we may not do whatever is needed. But it's not the thing. It's connecting to the child is like sharpening the saw. Once the saw is sharpened, then we can use it in a very better way, right? The same thing happens when you connect with the child. Whatever the learning outcome you are expecting from the child will be get very quickly once you got connected to the child. This is the misconception what the teacher should come out of that, I believe.
Thank you, Ms. Sireesha. Well explained. All the points are covered. Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. Some were repetitive. We also thank the audience for participating in the event. And I request the other audience, if you want to express your thoughts on our platform, you can, contact me directly, or you can take my number from Sireesha, and we can proceed further. And thanks again. We will end the session now, ma'am. Thank you. Anything else you want to mention, Ms. Sireesha?
Thank you, Pravina, for this opportunity, and the audience. Thank you so much for your precious time. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Thanks